Okay, we're going to tank out this basement. We've got a little bit of damp, not a mega lot, just a bit of damp coming through the brickwork with the soil from the outside. The wall's quite thick, but as an extra precaution, we're going to put some of this tanking slurry on it. So basically you mix it, we're using the Seeker one, Seeker slurry, approved slurry. Mix it like that runny yogurt on a summer's day. Really thick paint kind of mixture. Comes in a powder form. Don't put a massive amount of water in your bucket. Just start off small if you're not used to it, because obviously put too much water with it, it's going to like water. So put a bit of water in first, maybe 2 or 3 pints first, just to get used to the consistency of it. Then before you start rushing in and throwing half a bucket of water in, because you will mess up. So what we'll do is we'll just put some brush it on. Now this probably go in this. See, this stuff we just put about 30 minutes ago, so it's going off already. Depending on the outside conditions, it's quite warm today. So we've basically scraped all the muck off as best we can, brushed it off, and then we're just going to put the slurry on. Going opposite directions, like across that way and up the other way. Just get it on. Now we are going to put some Visqueen over the top of this. The actual basement isn't too bad, it's pretty dry. Obviously in basements it gets a lot colder, so when it hits the warm air from upstairs, as it drops down, you will get that little damp air kind of conditions. So we are going to tank it out and try and keep it dry as possible, and also we're going to put some ventilation down here as well. I'll show that in the later videos, but you will need ventilation in the basement. Okay, continuing on from the damp proof membrane. Now what we've done is we've tanked it out with the slurry as shown. I've only gone up about a metre because I didn't want it to go all the way to the top, just a waste of money. I don't need it. The damp area is only at the bottom. It's a bit cold and damp on the bottom. So as you can see, if you've got the same issues, if it's dry at the top, there's no point in doing all of it. I just probably go over the damp bit about 10 inches, 8 or 10 inches or so. Most of it's dry, it's just keep the condensation out and damp out. Apart from that, it's fine. Now this is the black Visqueen I'm putting up. That'll count as a membrane. Keep it in one piece. If you need to overlap it about at least 2 foot. Now I'm going to plasterboard that on top of the battens. That's 2x1 batten. Now I'm using pink plasterboards, which is the fireproof ones. They don't suck up moisture like the standard plasterboards. So if you've got a chance to try and alleviate some of your damp and cold spots, then try and invest a little bit more money in the products you're buying. So like I said, I'm going to use the plasterboards, pink stuff. It doesn't absorb moisture as much. So they're going to go on there. Now, as you can see, I've done the battens that way rather than vertically, because what I'm going to do is any moisture and damp that collects behind the Visqueen, behind the plasterboard, and it's like a vent. Now, if you did it that way, you'd have to put an vent, and you'd have to obviously put battens opposite way as well if you wanted to vent it to that side. I'm not venting it into the ceiling for obvious reasons, because there's nowhere for it to go. So I'm going to vent it all. Run it right round, it's going to come out here on the boiler side. This is where the boiler is going to go. There's going to be a boiler in there. So the battens will come right across, and there'll be an air gap there, all the way up, and that'll vent out into that side. There will be some ventilation in the wall, on that wall there, so mechanical ventilation, so that can come out on its own accord. So that's where we're at now. So I'm going to do the same thing all the way around, put some Visqueen on the walls, and then we'll go from there. Okay, put the Visqueen on. As you can see, I've battened it all out as well, so all the air will flow. There'll be a bit of air circulation around the walls, and that'll come out there as well. I've got a studding going here about there, so I'll put some holes in it, let some more air through. So that, I can feel it now. It's a lot warmer. Keeps the damp out. I've done this quite a few times. It does the job. Like I said, it's only, you can use it obviously if you haven't got any serious water coming in. I'll put a channel at the bottom there. Any damp can follow its way out as well. So you've got air circulation. Any moisture comes in can run out the drain. I'm also going to put some in the corners there. I'm going to drill some holes for the brickwork there. Put a bit of an air gap as well going through. I'll cover that up on the outside with a vent, some sort of vent cover. So basically what you want, and then obviously you want a lot of air circulation behind the wall, because you will get moisture and damp, and you want to make sure you can get rid of it, let it get out. Obviously I'm going to put some insulation on the top of that. I forgot to mention that. I've got some insulation, PIR, aluminium foil insulation going over the top of that. and then plasterboard that with the fireproof plasterboard that we mentioned in the video. So that'll stop the transfer of cold and warm air crossing over and getting that damp behind it. So that'll stop that. And then when we've done that, we'll skim it, sealing as well, and it's all done. So that's basically it. That's how you tank out a basement. I mean, you know, there's a few variations on that, but that suits my needs.